have confidence in yourself. Like if you don't have a ton of confidence in yourself, even in high school, and like if you're getting the stats to like prove you're a good player, but you're still not like confident in yourself, like give yourself that credit. Like you got to have like a mindset of I can do this to get to play at the collegiate level.
Yeah. Look at me. Bench Mob, they're speaking the facts that you wanna hear. They rep a jersey, the vision is clear. Diamonds glisten like a chandelier. You know what I'm here for, like Marshawn Lynch. At clutch time, we do not flinch. Real brothers, we do not switch. Hit home runs with the right pitch. Who run the city? What to do when they're hating on you? I feel like Kobe 2010. Taking an L, all I need is a win. Business is business, you know how they go. You playing the seats, now it's time to grow. Tune in now, gotta be in the know. Showtime, bitch, my about to blow.
I ain't seen from now. She was really trying to tell y'all.
Bench Mob Podcast. What's up, bro?
Yeah, welcome back to another episode of the Bench Mob Ent podcast. We have Catie Donadio on the show tonight. Did I say your last name right?
Yep, that's right.
Okay, we have her on the show today. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's a great Thursday here in Connecticut, so just excited for the weekend, and yeah.
I'm looking forward to the weekend too. Before we get started, y'all know the house rules. Make sure you subscribe, like, share, leave us a review, 5 stars on all streaming platforms and on YouTube. I want to get started in this. Where did your love for sports begin? Because I did my research, I was looking it up. You played soccer also, all 4 years in high school. So not only are you a basketball player, you did soccer. Where did this love for sports begin?
The love of sports definitely came from my family. Both my parents were athletes growing up, and I have a younger brother who is also a 2-sport athlete in high school right now. And we just like we're a very competitive family. Like in regards to sports, we always want to push ourselves to be our best. And growing up, my dad coached a ton of my brother and I's teams. So like we were always the coach's kid. We're the ones who are like getting yelled at more than anyone else because we're the ones who are like being pushed the hardest and have the highest expectations. So I think I just grew to love sports from that. And then the friendships like that I made from those teams and just getting to like spend time with my family and like bond over that was something that I think made me love sports. So
Hey, I think a lot of people had that story. I helped coach my sister's team growing up. I tell people all the time, they're like, oh, how do you know this person? How do you know that person?
Yeah.
80% of my friendships is because of me playing basketball.
Right.
That's literally most of my friends right there.
Yeah.
Because of basketball. You played soccer and basketball in high school, right? How did each sport help you excel in the other?
So a lot of soccer, I played outside midfield. So that's a lot of running. So like that helped definitely for being in shape in basketball. And then just like, I think it's so important. And my my high school soccer coach always emphasized this. He was like, I want you guys to be like multiple sports athletes, like have multiple interests. When you like focus in on one sport, it can like lead to more injuries. So like using my body in different ways throughout like both sports really like benefited myself to stay healthy. And like I think basketball and soccer wise, just like I just was always exercising, you know, always being in shape and just like always looking forward to the next season. So
I think that's great advice. I was told that too in high school, but I was stubborn and only did basketball.
Yeah.
But looking back on it, I wish I did something else, track, something like in middle school, I did multiple sports, but when I got to high school, it was one track, mind you. And I completely agree with your coach. Like, it's definitely helpful to do the multiple sports.
Yeah.
In both sports, right? Who did you look up to? What athletes did you try to model your game after in soccer and in basketball?
So for soccer, I really enjoy watching the U.S. women's national team play. They're like an amazing group if you've ever like seen any of their games play, but I really like the way Rose Lavelle plays. Like she's a center midfielder, but like her passes are like incredible. And like being an outside midfielder, I kind of knew like my job was to like serve the ball into the strikers, like get other people to score goals. So like seeing her pass and like her footwork mine was never nearly as good as that, but watching her play was something that I looked up to. And then for basketball, I'd probably say, like, this is going to sound so stereotypical being from Connecticut, but just like watching the UConn women play, like they are so competitive. Like, I think it was 30 something this year, like 30 consecutive years where like UConn has been in the Big East championship. And I think that's just like incredible. Like you never hear of stuff like that where teams for 30 consecutive years like make it to their tournament championship. So just like being competitive, and like they also are like good at shooting, they're good at driving, they're good at facilitating, they hype each other up. Just like watching how they're even like interacting on the bench, I think is something that I always looked forward to.
Those are two great examples. I say it all the time. The U.S. Women's national soccer team, hands down, above and beyond, better than the men's national team. I will watch the women before I will watch the men
Yeah.
any given day. I
Yeah.
don't know what's wrong with the men. The women actually put on for USA. And
Yeah.
that's really a testament of their greatness. Consistent 30 years
I
is
know.
a lot of time, and that's a lot of great athletes. You got the Maya Moore, Rebecca Lobos. Like it's a lot of great talent that's gone through UConn.
Yeah.
What has been your favorite part, even in high school and now at the collegiate level? What was your favorite parts of each sport?
So for soccer, like I just love like the soccer atmosphere that you get from it. It's like a big team. It's bigger than soccer. I mean basketball, because there's 11 girls out on the field at one time. And just like being able to play outside, like I don't know, it just like brings like another level of just like happiness, I guess. Like that's kind of weird to say, but like just playing a sport outside, like you don't get to do that a ton when you're in basketball season because like you have to be in the gym and whatever. But I just loved being able to play outside with like a bunch of like of my friends. And then for basketball, I'm sorry, can you repeat the question? I forgot what the original one was.
What's your favorite part about basketball?
Okay. My favorite part is definitely like I have so many favorite parts of it, but I think my one that has carried over through every year of me playing basketball has been like the friendships that I've made from it. Like right now, I'm like living with 4 of my other teammates right now in college, and like I'm still in touch with girls from my AAU team. I'm still like I looked up to when I was a freshman in high school, I looked up to my one senior on our team because like I don't know, just like the connections that you can make from basketball are incredible, and they like get you so far. And it's just like something that has always been a big part of my life. So
Now, with your process of going to Connecticut College, was there any possibility that it could have been any other college or university, or you were set on them from day one?
Yeah, so Con was kind of the like unrealistic dream school that myself and my parents talked about, and it was just like unrealistic, like in terms of like the financial cost was just like it's a ton of money to go here. And so like I was looking at a bunch of other schools like Springfield, which is Hustle, has a great program, great coaches there. Roger Williams, same thing. So like not a bunch of other NESCAC schools, which is the conference that Con is in, but Con was like the ultimate goal because of its rigorous like academics, and then it's also in the NESCAC, which is like deemed to be the top 3 D3 division in the country. So I like my dad and I were like, we're gonna do everything we can for me to try to get to Con, and so luckily like things were just on our side and we ended up here. So
That's good. A lot of people have their dream college and the college that they want to go to, but more times than not, they're not able to go to that college.
yeah.
So that's really dope that you were able to go there.
Yeah.
Leading into this off season for you, the summertime, what are you looking to add to your game, or even sharpen in your tool bag for next season?
Well, I really want to get like stronger around finishing around the rim because that's the best part of my game, being able to drive, get past people. But in high school, there weren't a ton of girls who were like much bigger and taller than me. So I was able to score easier. But now being like at a college level, I'm playing against like 6'5" girls, and they're just going to like block my shot if like I don't go in by like jump stopping or like doing a certain move. So just practicing like being stronger in my finishes, being able to handle contact and finish. And then also just like maneuvering around like post players to like get the best shot possible. And then I'm not a huge shooter right now, but I think being able to like shooting at a decent clip would be something that I want to improve on too, because that would make me more of a threat, and then like defenders would have to actually come out and guard me rather than just wait for me to try to drive.
Those are all good things to add to the game. And you mentioned, in high school how it was. You dropped a lot of buckets. 1,000 points is a lot of buckets.
Yeah.
What was that experience like for you? How did you feel about that during that high school time of 1,000 points? Like,
Mm.
I don't think people really sometimes understand 1,000 points is a lot of points.
Yeah.
That's a lot of layups, jump shot. That's a lot
Mhm.
of buckets. That's a lot. That's a lot. What
Yeah.
was that like for you?
It was incredible. Unfortunately, I was like around 38 points away from 1,000 after my junior year season ended. So I was pretty close. And then of course, like COVID hit and I was like, didn't even know if I was going to get a senior season. And luckily, like we got one that started, I think it started in February. So it was a very delayed season because of COVID. And we didn't like have any state tournaments or anything, but I did end up getting 1,000, but it just like, it wasn't what like the girls I watched growing up in high school had when they reached 1,000 points, because like they had like a full like crowd there, whatever. And my parents were like up, they let my parents in, there was like no fans allowed, and the gym in my high school has like this glass window above the gym. My parents were up there with their masks on, like cheering. It was just my parents and my brother, so it was like a very like kind of isolating experience than what I was expecting it to be, but it was still like I was so appreciative of everything that got me to that point, because it like showed like my work ethic had paid off. I was like mostly like thankful to my dad, honestly, because he pushed me so much to like do well in basketball. And then it was also really special because at that time when I was a senior and scored, my cousin, she was a sophomore on the team, so like she was the first person to give me a high five, and like, so I think that was just really special, and I was just grateful to be able to get the opportunity in the first place.
Pause. Pause. The COVID season interrupted. You could have had more buckets. I didn't even know. I saw it was a COVID season. I saw
Yeah.
some video when you had the 1,000 points. Everybody was in mask on the court. I
Mhm.
saw that aspect, but I did not know you were
Yeah.
30 points away at the end of junior year. So shoot, you could have had 1,500, 1,600 points for all, like,
Probably not that much, but yeah, I could have gotten a couple more.
hey, that's what's up. For you, what would be your daily workout? Like in a day for you, you going to the gym, you working out, what does that look like for you?
Always start with like form shooting, just getting that down. And then I usually go into like different finishes around the rim. So I practice reverses, jump stops, like practice getting a like tough rebound, taking a dribble in, and then like finishing hook shots. So I do a lot of finishing work, and then I'll just like a lot of pull-ups I've like been trying to incorporate into my game. So like catching it on the wing and then taking like a dribble towards the middle or dribble towards the baseline and pulling up. Um, and yeah, then like finishing with threes. And whenever I finish a workout, I like have to make at least like 9 for 10 free throws. That's kind of my rule. Like I want to be a good free throw shooter. So because like they win games. We've unfortunately lost a couple this past season off of like free throws at the last second. So just being able to be like a clutch free throw shooter for my team is something that I want to improve on.
All great stuff to work on for sure. Form shooting. That's how you should start off every
Yeah.
workout, honestly. And staying to the fundamentals too.
Mhm.
Still, like people, you look at Diana Taurasi, you look at Kyrie Irving, finishing around the rim. That they still, even
Yeah.
though they're great at it, Maya Moores of the world, they still practice it, which is like you sharpening, making sure that tool is still sharp.
Yeah.
Um, one piece of advice you would give to somebody that's trying to be a basketball player, an athlete on the collegiate level?
I definitely say like have confidence in yourself. Like if you don't have a ton of confidence in yourself, even in high school, and like you like if you're getting the stats to like prove you're a good player, but you're still not like confident in yourself, like give yourself that credit. Like you got to have like a mindset of I can do this to get to play at the collegiate level, and just like keep working hard. Like you're gonna have to miss some like social opportunities every once in a while to like go to a game or go to a tournament or something, and it happens. But if that's your goal, like you got to stick to that and like know that, okay, I'm doing this in hopes to like get to where I want to be, and you got to respect yourself for that. So just like taking what you want and like actually executing it, I think is important.
That's completely important on twofold sacrifice. A lot of people don't understand
Yeah.
when it comes to high school, the collegiate level, the sacrifices that have to be made
Mhm.
to be good, great in whatever sport you choose. And I've seen it firsthand. When it comes to do that sacrifice,
Mhm.
that's where most people fall off, because like I still want to party, and
Yeah.
it's a time and place for all that, especially when it's a college level.
Hmm.
Once the season is done, different weekends, you're able to fix it in there, here and there. And to the other part of the confidence in yourself, that is huge, to believe in yourself, to be able to bet on yourself. If you don't do it, nobody else will. Like, the coach could see it in you all you want, but if you don't see it, it's not beneficial for
That's
you
true.
though. For you though, how did you build your confidence up though?
Um, I think honestly what helped a lot was just like being able to like be the leading scorer on my high school team, like knowing that my team trusted me have like to have their backs in like those moments where it came down to the wire. Um, and I think just like honestly, what gave me the most confidence to be able to play at the collegiate level was like just practicing. The more that you practice, like the doing the right things, the easier it's going to come to you. And then you're like, oh, okay, I can do this. Like, I'm good at this. I'm like making like over 50% of these like shots or whatever. So just like continuing to practice, even if you like think it's easy, like you were talking about with like the greats, like Maya Moore, like as long as you continue to practice, even what you think you're good at, you're just going to get better and better at it. And that's going to build up your confidence.
For you, last question before we transition. What do you think possibly, in your opinion, could be done to get more eyes and more exposure on the women's game? Like, for example, I was reading the stats how the NCAA has put close to $2 billion for the men's bracket and men's March Madness, but they combined all of women's sports for college for the promotion along, and only was around like $38 million
Yeah.
with all the sports. And this year specifically, you can see even the more the women's side,
Mhm.
low key is a little bit more exciting than the men's side. That
Yeah.
Final Four, I'm looking forward more to
Yeah.
that Final Four than what we
Uh-huh.
got on the men's side. What is your thoughts on that, and what can be done to improve it?
I think like us advocates, we just got to keep talking about women's sports because like a lot of people are even like unaware of like I'm sure that people who call themselves like basketball fans don't know who like Aaliyah Boston is, don't know who like they probably know like who Paige Beckers is, but like those greats that are playing right now in the Final Four for women's hoops, like I think the more that people talk about it, the more media that gets paid attention to it, like the more people are going to watch it. And I think unfortunately that's one of the only ways because a lot of money goes into like advertising and stuff, and just because people don't watch it, like the women's sports don't get as much like revenue as the men's sports. So I think we just need to increase the talk.
I completely agree. I actually, a lot of times, it's a more pure form of the sport. I love going to WNBA games. I love the environment. I love, my sister played college ball.
Yeah.
The other sister, she plays ball. So I think it's like you said, the exposure, and actually people, if you say you're a basketball head and you love basketball, then you tune into the women's sport, and
Right.
it's just as good. Like,
Mhm.
you should love basketball, and then you tune into it. So we close off the show with this segment called the fourth quarter. That's the last part of the show. Some
Okay.
fun questions, a little rapid fire, this, that, and third.
Mhm.
What is your go-to meal?
Mill.
Like, what's your favorite thing to eat?
Okay, mine would probably be the reverse. I like getting past people like on the wing, and then usually like help is coming, so I like to like scoot around them, go baseline, and then just like hit that reverse layup. That has been like my go-to since like probably freshman year like of high school. I just love doing that move, and it's so satisfying when it goes in. So
What's your favorite thing to eat?
um even though I'm a college athlete, I'm a big ice cream girl. I love like having like a little treat at the end of the day. So I will never refuse anyone who says, want to go out to ice cream? So
What kind of ice cream you choosing?
I love chocolate. That's probably my favorite. My favorite flavor is probably the chocolate fudge brownie from Ben and Jerry's. Top notch.
Ben and Jerry's has some elite flavors for sure,
They're
for
so
sure.
good.
I saw obviously that you are not only an athlete, but you're the student athlete. You take pride in the student aspect. What's your favorite subject?
Um, I really enjoy like anatomy and physiology. I'm like hoping to become a physician's assistant. So I'm majoring in neuroscience at Connecticut College right now and like taking a lot of science classes. And my favorite one right now is probably health psychology because it combines like how people think and how that like affects the biological systems within your body, which I find really interesting.
That's dope.
Yeah.
I know that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work. Give me your 3 favorite books of all time.
Oh boy. Okay. Oh, I wish I knew about this one before. I could have thought a little bit. I'd probably say I just read the first Hunger Games book because like the movies just came out on Netflix and I just had spring break. So I read that over spring break and like I love being able to compare books to movies. And that was just a book that like it's an easy read, you get through it quick and it's like engaging. So I definitely recommend that one. I've read one of my favorites is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. And then another one, I am a big fan of all Neil Shusterman books. They're like dystopian novels and they're very, very good. So I definitely recommend those.
Who wins the tournament in your opinion?
You know, I want Iowa. I want Caitlin Clark to like finish off with a championship, but I think it's going to be South Carolina. I think they're just like too stacked offensively and defensively to like stop them. It's going to be a good matchup, but I think they're playing Iowa Friday. So like Iowa's the leading, like the top scoring team. And then South Carolina is the least points allowed team. So it should be an interesting matchup, but I think South Carolina is going to take it all.
That's what I'm saying. I'm locked in for
Yeah.
that game. They average like 97 points
Mhm.
a game, which is like unheard of.
Yeah.
97 points a game.
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark, I love her game. I think if she decides to go to the WNBA, that's gonna be the face of the WNBA.
Yeah.
The day she plays, she's already a top 5 in my book in the WNBA. Like she's a generational talent. It's crazy.
Insane. Yeah.
Who would you say, and you might have answered it by your comment right there, but who would you say right now is the best player in women's college basketball?
Yeah, I gotta go with Caitlin Clark. Like her pull, like if anyone's listening to this and has not watched her game, she'll like pull up from like half court and like hit it. Like I think there was an interview the other day with Steph Curry and he's like, oh yeah, she was like way better than I was in college. Like she is something to watch. So like I think it's her.
Who would you say right now? We got 2 more left.
Mm-hmm.
Who would you say is the best in the WNBA, and like who do you root for in the WNBA?
Being from Connecticut, I gotta root for the Sun, and I would say, I really like Alyssa Thomas. Like she just like I think she suffered an injury this past season or something with her arm, but her like ability to like get to the basket and like so strong. Like she's not the tallest person out there, but like her game reminds me of like my own. So I think that she's one of the best.
I am extremely intrigued on how this season goes.
Yeah.
The Aces, the Liberty, getting those big trades. This is going to be a fun season. I can't wait. And there's more games this year too. I think they extended it to around 34.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah, I am locked and I can't wait for the season to start. Last one before we get you out of here. And again, we thank you for taking time out of your schedule to be on with the Bench Mob.
Yeah, of course.
If you were gifted an all expense paid vacation, where are you choosing to go?
Oh, this is like kind of a boring one, but I definitely say Hawaii. I'm such a beach girl at heart. I like grew up on the water. I love the ocean. That's like where I go if I like need to like calm myself or anything. And I'm like, I would just love to like swim with the turtles, like hike the mountains, see the volcanoes, like the natural beauty of Hawaii. So I'd go to Hawaii.
That's not a boring option. It's a lot of people that choose Hawaii. That's on my bucket list of places to go. So that wasn't a boring option. And we have Caitlin Donadio on the show. We thank you for taking time out.
Thank you.
For all those that do not know, we are on all streaming platforms. We are on YouTube. We are everywhere. Rate us 5 stars, leave a review. We appreciate it. But y'all know the vibes. If you stay ready, you don't gotta get ready. Bench Mob, we out. Peace.